Engines don't just die of old age. They're murdered by the riders who think they know better. You've seen it at every stoplight. Some guy cracks the throttle wide open, showing off with a thunderous rev. His buddy nods like it's impressive, and a week later, that same rider is staring at a $600 repair bill while his bike wheezes at the mechanic's shop. Here's the truth. Engines are tough, but they're not indestructible. The way you ride can either make your motorcycle last decades or quietly cut its life in half. And the scary part? Most riders don't even realize they're doing it. Today, I'm breaking down 8 horrible habits that silently destroy your engine and your wallet. If you've ever thought, one little bad habit won't matter, think again. These are the exact reasons bikes break down years earlier than they should, and why mechanics stay in business. And stick around until the end, because the last habit, almost every rider does it daily without realizing. It's basically engine suicide. Number 1. Cold start abuse. That morning review. It's not warming your bike, it's killing it. A lot of riders think slamming the throttle as soon as they hit the ignition somehow wakes the engine up. In reality, all you're doing is forcing cold, thick oil through tight clearances. And guess what? Thick oil doesn't flow fast enough to protect the moving parts. Those revs are scraping metal against metal before the lubrication even has a chance to circulate. Here's the insider truth. Modern bikes don't need that kind of abuse. They're designed with fuel injection and advanced ignitions that handle cold starts just fine. All your engine really needs is 30 to 60 seconds of gentle idling, just enough time for the oil to move and the bike to settle. Ignore this, and you're asking for worn piston rings, scuffed cylinders, and even oil starvation. Thousands of dollars in repairs for a habit that saves you absolutely nothing. But even when the bike's warm, the next habit cooks your engine alive. Number 2. Constant high revs. Because nothing says, "I love my bike," like riding it at redline 24/7. Some riders treat the tachometer like it's a scoreboard. The higher it goes, the better they feel. But engines aren't designed to live up there. Constant over-revving cranks up the heat, stresses every moving part, and accelerates wear on valves, bearings, and gaskets. Sure, hitting high RPMs occasionally is fine, it's part of riding. But making redline your permanent address, that's a fast track to engine failure. Here's the insider truth. Motorcycle engines are built with a wide power band for a reason. They perform best when you ride across that range, not camped at the top. Living at maximum RPM shortens engine life massively, no matter how bulletproof you think your bike is. Ignore this, and you'll face valve float, blown gaskets, and oil leaks that creep into every ride. And none of that comes cheap. And while some riders rev too much, others kill their engine by barely using the throttle. Number 3. Lugging in low RPM. We've all seen it. A rider cruising in way too high a gear, the bike chugging like it's gasping for air. It looks harmless, maybe even fuel efficient. But what's really happening inside that engine is brutal. Running at low RPM under heavy load forces the combustion to detonate unevenly, what mechanics call knocking. That hammering effect stresses the crankshaft and pushes metal parts to their absolute limits. Here's the hidden truth most riders miss. Lugging is actually worse than moderate revving. When you rev, at least the engine is spinning freely with oil circulating properly. Lugging, on the other hand, means your engine is fighting itself. Extreme pressure on rods, bearings, and pistons that were never designed for that punishment. Ignore this, and you're looking at bent connecting rods, damaged bearings, and pistons that overheat until they seize. All because you didn't want to downshift. But it's not just how you use gears, it's how you use fuel that wrecks engines too. Number 4. Cheap or wrong fuel. One bad tank can set you back thousands. Riders often think fuel is fuel, just fill it up and ride. But the truth is, running the wrong gas is one of the fastest ways to ruin an engine. Low-octane fuel causes knocking and pre-ignition, where the mix explodes too early, hammering your pistons with every stroke. And those ethanol-heavy blends? They attract water, corrode your tank, and eat through seals like acid. Here's the insider detail most people miss. Premium isn't always better. Dumping in high octane when your bike doesn't need it won't give you extra horsepower. It'll just burn your money. The real secret is simple. Stick to exactly what your manufacturer recommends. That's where your engine is tuned to perform. Get this wrong, and you're staring at burnt valves, piston holes, and clogged injectors that cost more to fix than you saved at the pump. But even with the right fuel, if you're lazy with oil, game over. Number 5. Skipping oil changes. Who needs fresh oil? Just run it until it looks like Coca-Cola, right? A shocking number of riders treat oil changes like an optional luxury, as if the engine will just keep forgiving them forever. But oil is literally the blood of your motorcycle. It's what keeps metal from grinding against metal at thousands of RPMs. Let it go too long, and that protective layer turns into a cocktail of dirt, carbon, and tiny metal shavings. That's not lubrication, that's liquid sandpaper. Here's the hidden truth most people overlook. It's not just about miles on the odometer. Oil degrades over time, even if your bike sits in the garage. Moisture, temperature changes, and simple aging break down its ability to protect your engine. Neglect this, and you'll be staring at sludge buildup, seized pistons, and camshaft damage that can wipe out an engine in one ugly moment. And speaking of lazy maintenance, the next one ruins your engine without you even touching it. Number 6. Ignoring air filter and cooling. Rider complains his bike's lost power. Mechanic pulls out an air filter blacker than coal, holds it up, and just shakes his head. That little square of dirt is the difference between an engine that breathes easy and one that's suffocating. A clogged air filter starves the combustion chamber of oxygen, meaning incomplete burns, sluggish throttle response, and more fuel wasted for less power. But airflow isn't just about filters. Cooling matters just as much. Blocked radiator fins, dust-packed vents, or even grime caked onto air-cooled fins keep heat trapped inside your engine. And heat is the silent killer. It warps metal, weakens gaskets, and pushes oil past its limits. Here's the overlooked truth. It's not just dust. Bugs, sweat, and everyday road grime all become silent assassins of airflow. They creep in slowly, until one day your engine is gasping for life. Ignore this, and you'll end up with poor combustion, sky-high fuel burn, and overheating seizures. But even if your bike breathes fine, the way you shut it down could be killing it. Number 7. Revving before shutdown. Some riders think a good farewell rev is a love letter to their bike. Key off, throttle wide, big, dramatic roar, as if the machine needs applause before bedtime. But in reality, that last rev is like tucking your engine in with a punch to the face. When you shut down while revving, you leave unburnt fuel sitting in the chamber. That fuel washes away the thin film of oil protecting your cylinders. And over time, it creates carbon buildup that clogs and damages vital parts. Here's the hidden angle few riders realize. If your bike has a turbo, this habit is even worse.
Turbos need a short idle period to cool down before shutdown. Kill it while revving, and the turbo's bearings cook in place, guaranteed early failure. Ignore this, and you're looking at flooded engines, fouled spark plugs, and nasty carbon deposits that suck performance and cost big at the shop. And finally, the silent wallet killer, the one almost everyone is guilty of.
Number 8. Short trips and parking neglect. Quick run to the store, engine barely warms up, bike back in the garage. Seems harmless, right? But short rides are one of the sneakiest ways to wreck your engine. When the motor doesn't reach full operating temperature, condensation builds inside and mixes with the oil. Those water droplets dilute lubrication, leaving metal surfaces vulnerable. On top of that, unburnt fuel vapors don't have time to clear out, which means they contaminate the oil and slowly eat away at internal parts. And it doesn't stop there. Parking up with a dirty bike, bugs on the radiator, sweat on the tank, road grime on every surface, creates the perfect recipe for corrosion. Here's the hidden truth. Combine humidity, ethanol-blended fuel, and that grime, and your engine can literally rust from the inside out. Neglect this, and you're facing rusty tanks, contaminated oil, weak batteries, and seized parts that turn a quick errand into a mechanic's payday. So if you've caught yourself in any of these habits, here's the wake-up call. So let's hit rewind. Cold start abuse, constant high revs, lugging at low RPM, running cheap fuel, skipping oil changes, ignoring airflow and cooling, revving before shutdown, and those endless short trips with dirty parking habits. 8 silent killers that eat away at your motorcycle from the inside out. Engines aren't fragile, they're resilient, built to handle heat, speed, and miles of punishment. But here's the catch. They can only take so much if you aren't sabotaging them with careless habits. The difference between a bike that runs smooth for decades and one that's always in the shop often comes down to these small daily choices. Break these habits, and you don't just save your engine, you save your wallet. Your bike will last years longer, ride smoother, and give you the freedom you bought it for in the first place. So tell me, which of these habits are you guilty of? Drop it in the comments. I want to know. Hit like if you've ever learned the hard way at the repair shop. And subscribe, because next time we're exposing the upgrades that actually save your engine instead of ruining it. Ride smart, ride safe, and don't let bad habits do what age never could. Kill your motorcycle.